From Madison, Wisconsin, and broadcast online across the globe, welcome to America's Wild Report, your source of news and updates from the 2011 National Wildlife Refuge System's Conserving the Future Conference. Featuring correspondent Michael Woodbridge from Region 8, correspondent Kim Benton from Region 9, and your host, Region 4's Jennifer Strickland. And now, your host of America's Wild Report, Jennifer Strickland.
Thank you, Jason, and welcome again to America's Wild Report. I'm Jennifer Strickland from the Conserving the Future Conference in Madison, Wisconsin. Though noted anthropologist Dr. Jane Goodall was unable to attend the conference, she was kind enough to join us with an inspiring message. Dr. Goodall?
Hello, I'm Jane Goodall, and I'm really, truly sorry I can't be with you in Madison in person today to take part in this Conserving the Future conference, because I know how important it's going to be. Let me start by bringing into this gathering a voice from the forest, just to remind us of all those animals we seek to protect, the distant greeting call of the wild chimpanzee. Let's join hands with these enthusiastic and dedicated young people to create a better world for the future generations. Let's join hearts and dare to show that we care for those with whom we share or should share the planet. That animals and wilderness areas are important in their own right. There is hope for the future, but only if all of us, from all countries and all walks of life, take action and help in whatever way we can, before it's too late. Finally, I'm so very appreciative of all that you participants are already doing. I feel hopeful that this conference in Madison will be a true landmark in conservation strategy, and that the outcome of your discussions will provide new hope for the future of our beleaguered planet Earth. And thank you for giving me this chance to let you know that truly I am with you in spirit.
A proud product of South Central Los Angeles, Juan Martinez is the National Natural Leaders Network Coordinator for the Children in Nature Network. Earlier, correspondent Kim Benton caught up with Juan. Kim?
The generation that's kind of lost contact with nature, and we're the generation that's going to bring it back.
Juan Martinez is more than a leader at the Children in Nature Network. His labor of love is heartfelt for the Los Angeles-based nonprofit that gives young people ages 15 to 30 the chance to link up with educators, organizations, and others, all in an effort to experience and know the value of the great outdoors.
Because the message is, how does this relate to everybody's life every day? How do you integrate nature into everybody's life?
Martinez, a keynote speaker before packed crowds Wednesday during the Conserving the Future conference, tells americaswildlife.org it was a life on the streets that led him downhill before reaching high to a peaceful path to nature.
Grew up poor and angry, and it wasn't for lack of family structure. Both my parents were very supportive of everything that we did. They always pushed us to do better in school, but the reality in the street was that, the people who were making the money and weren't having issues with their bills were the gang members. And, with little hope for the future for myself, I sought to them as role models. And
Were you a part of the gang? Or?
I wasn't, no, but I was close enough to be associated with it and close enough.
It was a teacher, who Martinez says, who helped to turn his life around.
I was given detention, for refusing to take a quiz. Because our teacher gave me an ultimatum. Pretty much what he said was, I know you're not dumb. I know there's things going on that you probably don't understand or don't want to tell me. So how about this? I'll give you a chance to go to Eco Club or stay in detention for the rest of the semester. And so I picked Eco Club. And I picked it because I wanted to grow jalapenos for my mom and make some salsa. And I wanted to show my mom that I could take care of something. And for the rest of the semester, I kind of got tricked. I started worrying about photosynthesis and and soil erosion and pH balance.
This year's Conserving the Future conference falls right in line with Martinez's goal to inspire children and connect them with nature. Martinez returns to the streets, but these days it's to get young people away from crime and violence and to join the Children in Nature Network.
As we identify young leaders all over the country and try to bring them in and create that peer-to-peer network. I didn't do this for my personal joy. You know, I can go to the mountains anytime, I can do that, and I'll have a great time for the rest of my life. But there was something missing, and that something missing was, you know, the joy in somebody else's eyes when they first got to connect with nature. You know, the joy in the little girl's voice when she saw deer for the first time, or when she saw, you know, or when they see stars, or when they get to cook s'mores for the first time in their life. You know, that to me brings the ultimate joy. And that I realized that this is my passion. It wasn't necessary.
In Madison, Wisconsin, reporting for AmericasWildlife.org, Kim Betton, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but conservation photographer Ian Shive believes they are the key to inspiring people to get outside. Michael Woodbridge spent some time with Ian.
This is Michael Woodbridge coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin at the Conserving the Future conference, where I got the chance to speak with Ian Shive, conservation photographer. Take a look.
Photography has to first inspire before you can promote any agenda, whether it's conservation or trying to get a specific change made, or even in legislation levels or lobbying efforts, any of that. The first thing it has to do is inspire people. They have to connect with it, they have to relate to it. So for me, a big part of that connection is having a human element as part of the photographs. If you're interested in being involved in conservation photography and you've never done it before, I think the best place to start is the backyard, your backyard habitat. I think, you know, you've got people, millions of people spread out across the United States who have cameras who are interested in this. I think starting by picking up your camera, photographing what it is you care about. If there's a park that's endangered, I know in my home of Los Angeles we have wetlands right in the middle of the city that have gone through battles, and those places aren't photographed by people. You know, if I don't go out there and photograph them, who is?
Tell us your thoughts on reaching children in the next generation about conservation using photography.
Well, I think in general, for reaching the next generation, it's something that I think is actually frequently overlooked by nonprofits, government, a lot of people in general. I think it's overlooked in a subtle way, and I think it's because people are so worried about preserving land for future generations that we don't educate the next generation enough that the land is there.
Can you tell us some of your thoughts on a vision for the National Wildlife Refuge System?
I would love for people to see it all. I would love for people to know it's there, to know more of it, more about it, what it has to offer. I think that as spectacular as these places are, I don't think a lot of people know they're there in the way that other places are. And so my vision for it is to become sort of the cutting edge version of the outdoors. And I think that there's a way that can absolutely happen. It seems like it's already starting to happen.
The presence of youth at the conference was a consistent highlight. Michael Woodbridge explores the importance of building a conservation ethic at a young age. Michael?
This is Michael Woodbridge coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin at the Conserving the Future conference. Connecting children with nature is an important part of what we do on National Wildlife Refuges. And one of the places leading the way is the Prairie Wetland Learning Center in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. The Prairie Wetland Learning Center is a residential environmental education center run by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The center sits on the Townsend waterfowl production area just outside of Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and is part of a wetland management district. Its mission is to provide environmental education for students, private landowners, and the general public.
I've learned more than I've ever had, and I'm finally able to outsmart my parents.
I have friends that have never gone to the prairie, and they think that all the bugs and frogs and salamanders are gross and stuff, and they don't like them. But then I tell them that once you really know about them, you'll know that they're actually very important in our ecosystem.
Before I went to the prairie, if I saw a bird, I'd say, "Ooh, it's a bird flying by. That's kind of cool." But now that I've gone to the prairie, I can identify the birds. Ooh, that's a purple martin, or same thing with bugs. Those are springtails. I've learned more about the nature around me, and I've come to respect it more.
Just the experiences at the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center was just amazing, with all the animals and plants and new things that I got to learn. It was really cool.
My daughter never liked to be outside. I mean, she would sit in the house beside the TV and you couldn't get her outside, and now she loves going outside. She'll be able to sit and look at birds. If we walk down the driveway to the bus, she'll look up and she'll say, "Oh, I hear something," and she'll tell me what kind of bird it is, and I had never even heard about the bird.
And the prairie science class changed me. It made me respect nature more than I would have if I didn't go there.
After yesterday's report, Refuge Chief Greg Sakanik made a beeline to the parking lot to visit the Watershed on Wheels. Courtney White was on the scene.
Hi, I'm Courtney White. Yesterday I had the opportunity to show you the Watershed on Wheels Mobile Visitor Center. Today I was able to meet with Greg Sakanik and Refuge Manager Andy French and talk with them on why they brought the Mobile Visitor Center to Madison.
Mr. French, congratulations on having such a cool display and bringing it all the way over here to Madison for us on this Conserving the Future discussion we're having. Why? What do you do? What do you do with it?
We were hoping that when other people came and saw this, they would take this idea and make it better. And that's what I'm really excited about, is how the people that we work with will take this idea and just expand upon it and really refine it with all the creativity that we have within the system.
Wow, well, this is really cool. This is congratulations. This is good thinking on how we're going to get our message out there without necessarily having to have a refuge piece of land that you have to go to. So.
That's right. It's great access to urban areas.
Well done.
The arts can bring people into conservation in different ways. We caught up with Kevin Lowry, chair of the Making It Memorable and the Arts Committee, to discover how art relates to a people and nature connection.
Time when video games and reality television shows are ruling the air, I think we're in such an important time to connect not only children, but people to the natural world. A way we can do that is through art, poetry, music, dance, and basically have conservation serve as the ultimate message. So connecting people to the natural world through art is very important, and we can bring out their emotions and their feelings. So River of Words is an environmental education program that is an entire curriculum that combines math, science, history, art, poetry, and it allows students to express their feelings and emotions about the natural world and then give back to the community through a dissemination of their art and poetry, and get the message about conservation delivered in a different avenue these days.
Throughout the conference, progress was chronicled in an innovative style. We caught up with the strategic illustrators assigned to visually interpret the vision document.
My name is Vince Palco. I'm with Alchemy, and I'm a strategic illustrator. I am, along with my team, we are basically on the job to help visualize what's going on. And when I say visualize, it's an actual visual that we're creating of the information that we are digesting via the actual vision statement itself, along with key people that are here at the conference. So here you can see me working digitally, and I'm creating the vision on a Mac computer on an actual digital pad as opposed to pen and paper. And what this allows me to do is have a lot more flexibility with erasing, undoing strokes, and getting the exact images I want, and it makes the process go a lot faster. So what you're about to see here is kind of cool. It takes you through the progression of my thinking and the just creative process. And like any other creative endeavor, it starts with an idea in your head that then gets put onto paper. And I like to work just real small on a napkin or a little pad of paper to just get thoughts down. I'm getting feedback from attendees at the seminar, people online, and it really, this is the essential element of the process, to get your feedback, to get attendees' feedback, so that we can improve this picture to make it not mine, but yours.
For America's Wild Report, I'm Jennifer Strickland.